What's good, family? It's your man the YB, back once again. Big love to your man the YB, #1 sugar mama in the game right now, Lizzie Corinne, for boosting up his coin. Much needed, much love, no doubt about it. So, here we are then, folks. As you've seen by the title, and as you've likely heard by now, CONOR BENN versus Eubank Jr. is nonetheless fully locked in and confirmed. Eddie, Mr. Fake News. Eddie, Mr. Don't know what you're talking about. There's no way the fight's going to happen. It's all fake news. Came through today with no shame. Absolutely zero shame. Yeah, that's effing right, baby. Eubank versus BENN at the Zone Boxing. #born rivals. Oh my god. Oh my god, these guys. No shame. Not even a little bit of shame. About born rivals. Born silver spoons. That's what they should call it. Yeah, the 3 silver spoons. You got Hearn. In fact, the 4 silver spoons. In fact, everyone involved with this fight is a silver spoon. You got Sauerland. Yeah. Sniffer. What's his name? Colour. A.K.A. Sniffer. Yeah. Sniffer Sauerland. Eddie Hearn. CONOR BENN. And Eubank. All certified, bona fide silver spoons. Yeah. #born silver spoons. That's what the real fight should be called. 100, no doubt about it. Who will be the king of the silver spoons? Yeah. Anywho, he also posted October 8th live on pay-per-view Zone. The greatest rivalry in British boxing continues. Oh my god. Yeah. Let's be real now. As far as UK boxing goes, I don't know about the greatest rivalry. These two are the greatest silver spoon cats. Realistically, who do you know in the boxing game who has more of a silver spoon lineage than these two? None. There ain't none, is there? Who is there? No one. No one. No one is more silver spooned than Eubank and CONOR BENN. But anyway, it is what it is. Let's not keep going over the same things, YB. October 8th, firstly. That's not far off, which is always good. 8 weeks. 8 short weeks. Now, initially, I wasn't sure who this benefited. Initially, I thought, damn, if I'm CONOR BENN, do I want more time to grow into the weight? But on the flip side, someone like Eubank, who, to be fair, he does stay in shape, but still, time really only benefits both of them. But thinking about it, CONOR BENN, he will be plump. Yeah? So, if you're plump, given that he's not, for example, let's say if he fought 2 weeks ago, you know CONOR BENN's going to be down at 147, or, you know what I'm saying, one of them ones. He hasn't weighed in for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, so he will be plump. Plump means he won't need to necessarily bulk, he'll already be relatively bulky, and also they will have known for the last 4 weeks or more that this fight was most likely option. So CONOR BENN's really been bulking already, and then he would have had 12 weeks notice. Equally, Eubank, he does stay lean year round. Still, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about the whole weight thing. That is where the contention's at. If these two men were the same size, I think BENN wipes the floor with him. The only thing, I am going to bet on BENN. BENN's the heavy underdog, by the way. But still, from what I understand, CONOR BENN's about 5'9", and I think Eubank's only 5'9", 5'10" himself. So I'm not sure. To be quite honest, the last few fights where there's supposed to have been some sort of big weight difference, people have looked similar. For example, even when you look at Bivol versus Canelo, they look similar size. Obviously, Canelo was shorter and stubbier, but in terms of weight for weight, they look kind of similar. And I am wondering, Chris Eubank is not like a big bulky guy, is he? So I'm starting to think to myself, I'm not going to be shocked, you know, seeing CONOR BENN go in there and thinking he looked just at home, especially when you've got Eubank coming down. I think it's 156. They haven't disclosed it yet. There seems to be trying to hide it or something, like it matters. I guess it does matter, but the way that Calla Snifferland was going on. Oh, we can't disclose the weight. What? Can't disclose away. Who cares? What different? If the fight's done, the fight's done. But whatever. So yeah, that is obviously the only thing. But at the moment, if you put a tenner on Conor Benn, you get $33 back. So there's no way I'm gonna put a tenner on Eubank and get 15 quid back. I don't see the upside there whatsoever. Conor Benn's much more hungry. He's younger. He got it like that. Eubank go in there, no spirit, has he? Went in there with Liam Chinniams. The guy was begging to be chinned, and he played tic-tac-toe with him. What's that about? And he's older. And Chris Eubank's style, he's got that high, or used to have that high energy style. That kind of style, as you get to 33 or whatever he is, you don't get fitter into your mid-30s. Ben, rather, is in the prime of his life and is riding high. To be fair, Eubank, relatively, he's riding high, but he knows how to lose. We know Chris Eubank, can go in there against any top level guy and he's happy to lose and roll over. Bottom line. Yeah? We don't know if Conor Benn knows how to lose. And based on his last few fights, he looked like he bang on it for me. The only real question mark is obviously if the bell goes, and we notice, or to be honest, we should know by the weigh-in. And that's the great thing. I will adjust my bet. If at the weigh-in I see Eubank looks a full weight or 2 divisions above Ben, that'll be the time to scale your bets back, in my mind. Because that's the only edge Eubank has. The only way Eubank wins this fight, is if he goes in there and is able to pull off a taller, longer kind of AJ versus Ruiz or Fury versus Klitschko kind of performance. And bear in mind, we had just seen Eubank do that kind of tippy-tappy rubbish against Chinniams. I believe if Eubank meets Ben in the centre of the ring, he's going to get beat up. I'm sorry. But Eubank's he's had the work rate. He's never had the banger. He's never had the sleeper. And I'm not saying, YB, Conor Benn ain't slept no one who's top level. Number one, neither's Eubank. But number two, it's about the spirit. Ben come to throw heavy leather. Then again, you can argue, well, Eubank's been in there with... what hitters has Eubank been in there with? That's the question. I was about to say, well, Ben's going to... Chris will be able to take the shots because he's bigger. Well, he ain't never been in there. He ducked Triple G. Now, if we had have seen Triple G versus Chris Jr., we'd then be able to say, listen, man, let's call a spade here. Chris Eubank went in there with Triple G spot and he ate the shots all night and lost in a points decision. We haven't seen that. Yeah, we've seen him in there with, what's the guy's name? George Groves. Yeah, we've seen him in there with some other bums. I'm trying to think, is there any... Yeah, Billy Joe. Billy Joe can't punch. Who else is there? That's it, I think. DeGale, DeShot, James DeShot, no, but 100%. James, listen, yes, Chris Eubank beat James DeShot, no good. 5 years too late, unfortunately. You can't count a win over James DeShot, George Groves, who equally was half a little bit shot, to be quite honest with you. That's what Callum Smith exposed. Chris Eubank made George Groves look like he was red hot. Then we saw what happened with Callum Smith. And then we saw what Canelo did to Callum Smith. So the point is, when you do the whole boxing triangle thing, Eubank really does look kind of limited. Do you know what I'm saying? Eubank made George Groves look like he was red hot. Callum Smith made George Groves look like he was red hot. And then Canelo topped Callum Smith. And when you think about people like Chris Eubank calling out Canelo, bro, you're literally 4 iterations below the level. And then you got Bivol above that. You got Bivol, Canelo, Callum Smith, George Groves, and then Chris Eubank at the bottom. It's one of them ones for him. And in terms of potential, I believe we've seen the peak of Eubank. In all fairness though, if there's ever going to be a fight that will spur him on, it's obviously going to be this one. But you just don't know what you're going to get with him, do you? Is he going to turn up and really try and represent his dad's legacy? Or is he going to turn up like he did against Liam Chiniums and try and play tic-tac-toe? And to be honest, either way, I'm not sure. Apart from raw size, I don't see, pound for pound, I don't see Conor Benn as another level. And also, look at his trajectory. He's getting better every time. Eubank's a bit hit and miss, and even then, you don't know what you're going to get. Is Chris Eubank going to go back to the old style? Applying pressure and applying volume? Or is he going to try and... Well, I guess the key signal about Chris Eubank Jr. will be who he hires as a trainer. You can bet your bottom dollar, if Roy Jones Jr. is in the camp, then we're going to see more of the Liam Chiniums crap. Then again, that might be the best way he wins the fight. If he goes in there with a large size advantage, and he can go in there and spoil it, because we know Conor Benn loves to run forward now. One way how do you beat a run forward fighter? Well, Tyson Fury versus Chisora. If you've got that length, listen, Chris Eubank ain't nowhere near the kind of boxer Tyson Fury is, but I'm talking about the blueprint. On the back foot, Conor Benn has been known to be somewhat reckless. I just feel now, then again, we haven't seen him tested by no one. I was about to say, I feel now that Conor Benn's honed his craft. He will be able to cut the ring off, hunt down Eubank, and get the job done, unlike Chiniums. Chiniums was shot to bits, no good. Especially for this fight. I feel, out of the two, Ben has demonstrated more of that oomph. More of that roaring flame. But there's question marks all round. Let's say, for example, we'd seen Conor Benn knock out Kell Brook. At that point, I'll be telling you, listen man, this is Chris Eubank Jr. is food. Because that would mean, listen man, this guy's Conor Benn serious. But unfortunately, yes, he's looking as if he's honed his craft, but he's honed his craft against who? Everyone can hone their skills and look like they're improving against dudes you're supposed to moshabash. We haven't seen Conor Benn deliver them kind of skills, which I can't gonna lie to you. Conor Benn right now is delivering top level skills. We just don't know if he can do the same against the mid level and the top level guys. Even someone like Keith Thurman, to be honest. If Conor Benn went in there, and had railroaded Keith Thurman, I'd be a lot more confident about this whole fight from Conor Benn's point of view. But like I said, ultimately, from the bookie's point of view, I'm surprised who out there is going to put a tenner on Eubank to get 15 back. Who can do that? That makes it close to a cert that I don't see that at any level. I think the KO risk all comes from Ben. I don't see any way Eubank wins this fight by knockout. Because guess what? He couldn't even knock out Liam Chiniums, who was literally diving on the floor for half of the fight. Do you understand? What does it say about a man who has a nice plate full of food and leaves half of it? I told you before, I can't stand people in this game who don't finish their dinner. What are we doing here? And literally, on a serious note, I've never seen, or for years, I haven't seen someone so desperate to be put out of their misery. Honestly, go back and watch that. Eubank versus Chiniums. Chiniums was begging. Liam Chiniums was begging, please Chris, put me out. And what did Chris do? He tapped around some more. And then in the last round, he literally danced around the place. Literally. Like a clown. That's not a guy I think's serious. And yeah, we can sit here and say, well, Ben ain't done nothing yet. Listen, at least he may be fighting bums, but at least he properly filling the bums in. Eubank, the bums he's fighting, he going life and death with. And he hanging around with them. He dancing around in the 12th round with them. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, in all fairness, if there's ever going to be a fight that Eubank will find that inner oomph, it'll be this one. But the key test for me, or the key signal, will be Roy Jones. Roy Jones, I don't know what he's doing as a trainer, but he seems to have gassed up Eubank into thinking he's something super duper slick and super duper special. Truth be known, I don't think this fight is a good idea for Conor Benn, given his point in his career. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that, but I'm just saying, strategically, as far as careers go, did it need to happen now? I don't think it did. Eubank's got nowhere to go. He don't want to fight any of the real guys in his own weight division. Conor Benn, I guess you could, and then again, what options did Conor Benn have? Apparently, Keith Thurman isn't interested. That was the obvious one. So, from Conor Benn's point of view, he's thinking, well, what am I going to do? Fight another bum? Or do this one? Me personally, I would have opted to fight another bum. Because this fight ain't going nowhere. Your odds, Conor Benn's odds go up dramatically every year. He keeps getting better, and every year Eubank keeps getting older. Plus, every year that goes by, he will be growing more into the weight. And in fact, on that last note about the weight, the key reason for me I don't like this for Conor Benn, I think the fight's 50-50, truth be known. This fight is a 50-50 fight. I don't know how the bookies have got Eubank a heavy favourite. Well, I guess I do. It's all to do with the weight, or the perceived weight, the perceived size. I bet the bookies are thinking, well, look, we just wrote off Bivol, and that's how much £7, that's how much difference £7 makes. Night and day. But listen, Chris Eubank, he ain't no Bivol. So like I was saying, the one key thing that does worry me about Conor Benn's longevity is the fact that, guess what, going up in weight, especially 2 weight divisions, it then, not only because of the triple G risks, i.e. you get your face bust and you're never the same again, more importantly than that, it's the actual weight part of things. Canelo's gone up to 175, and apparently now Eddie Hearn even said, and that's what made me think, Eddie Hearn's a clown. Eddie Hearn just said, oh, Canelo went up a few weight divisions and he can't come back down to 160 now. It does something to your body. When you're used to going up and coming back down, when you jump up again to 160 and you fight there, coming down, your body likes habits. Okay, I'm used to cutting to 147. Then all of a sudden you start having a fight at 160. Then you try and come back down again. It's like, it does something to your body. And it makes it exponentially harder for your real weight, i.e. 147. And apparently Conor Benn's been struggling. He may have fought at 140 though, but either way, apparently Conor Benn, Eddie Hearn's even said, oh, he's struggling at 147 already. So wait there, he's struggling at 147 already, and you think it's a good idea? Bearing in mind his campaigning at 147, you think it's a good idea to go big? Then again, the argument could be, well, YB, there's nothing sweet for us at 147. Crawford, Spence, Boots, some other guy. There's 3 or 4 bad dudes in that division. So it might be a smart play to go up to 154. But then again, listen, 154 is definitely not as packed, but there is a dominant, undisputed champion. Then again, there will be a super dominant, as good as Jermell Charlo may be, 147 is definitely more dominant. So maybe that's the plan from Eddie. Maybe Eddie thinks, listen, let's skip 147 and go straight to 154, and at least we fight for undisputed there. Who is more dangerous? Errol Spence versus Crawford winner, or Jermell Charlo? Well, you'd like to think the winner of Errol Spence and Crawford will be a harder fight than Jermell Charlo, just because of the nature of it. Charlo's never beat someone like an Errol Spence or a Terence Crawford. He hasn't been that battle tested yet. But then again, part of the reason Conor Benn's so dangerous at 147 is because he's able to get that weight bully kind of thing going on. Which, to be fair, that's what all the good ones do. Errol Spence, a huge weight bully. Going up to 154, Ben would look average there, in terms of his size. Anyway, that's just some extra context. Clearly, loads of people have advised Conor Benn, don't do it. Take your career serious. And I'm not saying he's not taking his career serious, but clearly these kind of exhibition fights, even though it's not an exhibition fight, but it's one of them ones, isn't it? These WWE fights, it makes you think, how successful does Conor Benn believe he can be? Now obviously he's probably thinking, oh, I'll jump up and I'll jump back down, but let's be serious now. If you believed you were about to become a world champion at 147 imminently, if you believed you were going to become undisputed champion at 147, if you believed I'm going to tap Errol Spence's ass in 6 months time when I'm mandatory, would you really be jumping up right now to do this clown show fight against one of your dad's old flings? I'm not so sure. Like I said, Chris Eubank, this suits him down to a T. His whole career's been shoddy, all over the place, just messy, just clout chasing. Chris Eubank's career is full of clout chasing and full of bag chasing. Great for him. But I thought, from what I'd seen at least, Conor Benn was setting up for something more than that. Unfortunately, he's chasing the bag. Now, to be fair, there is an argument. Well, YB, if Conor, imagine, put it this way, imagine if Conor Benn knocked out Eubank, especially in the UK, the whole paradigm would be taking off like a rocket. But it's a gamble, isn't it? If you lose, I guess that's the thing. In all fairness, if Conor Benn loses, he's got that whole built-in, well, I'm still campaigning at 147, but that's what Kell Brook fought. And really, his career, Kell Brook's serious career, ended the night of the Triple G fight. Didn't it? I don't care what no one says, if Kell Brook hadn't have lost Triple G, he would have beat Errol Spence. And who knows what he would still be doing to this day. Do you know what I'm saying? Who knows? I think there's a chance here, Kell Brook. Well, I know Kell Brook would have beat Errol Spence. He was whooping him for 7 rounds. Who knows? Kell Brook could have genuinely gone down as the best welterweight ever. Beat Errol Spence. Beat Terence Crawford, and look where you're sitting. The man who beat Errol Spence and the man who beat Terence Crawford could genuinely be the greatest ever at 147. And guess what? Now Kell Brook will go down as a British half bake, isn't it? Let's be real now. Ain't no one talking about Kell Brook being the greatest ever, or even in Hall of Fame. Kell Brook is a British half bake. But what could have been? Do you know what I'm saying? The way that Kell Brook was boxing Errol Spence's ears off, Kell Brook made Errol Spence look like an amateur in there for the first 7 rounds. I'm sorry, he did. Errol Spence looked bamboozled. No one's ever did that to Errol Spence. It's kind of like you threw all that away for a quick, cheap payday against Triple G. And it's a perfect comparison. Well, in all fairness, Triple G is more dangerous than Chris Eubank. But what I don't get is, there's just no rush. This fight is going nowhere. You know this fight will be here 2 years from now. Why not save this fight for a pep you up? Let's say Conor Benn ends up losing to Errol Spence. Okay, boom, had the loss. Let's get a pep me up. Let's jump back in there let's jump in there now with Eubank for something different. As I now move up to 154. Do you know what I'm saying? Nope, we're going to go mid-career. Not even mid-career. He's just starting to hit that rising part now, Ben. And he's doing this one. Here we go anyway, man. It is what it is. I ain't gonna sit here and hate. Am I going to sit here and say I ain't going to watch it? Obviously, there's some fake hardcores who will tell you, oh, I ain't watching it. Stop, quit the cap. You can be watching. 100%. We all going to be watching it. Let's be real now. We all going to be watching. And it will be exciting. Especially Conor Benn style. Conor Benn will be the one who makes this exciting, I believe. Now, Eubank will have the opportunity. I just don't think he will. I think Eubank is going to be trained by Roy Jones, and he's going to go in there trying to spoil and trying to outpoint. He's going to be a shadow on his dad's legacy. And I hope his dad sits him down and tells him, listen, son, I've given you everything in your life. You are a silver spoon. You better not shat it against Nigel Benn. Because don't forget, people, this isn't a case of if you see Chris Eubank Jr. Go in there and start piddling around on the back foot. It's not an equal case of, well, you're outboxing Nigel Benn's son. No, it'll be a case of you're running from Nigel Benn's half, you know what I mean, small fry. You're running from Nigel Benn's small fry, half weight son. Complete different ball game. Really, the size of the guy, this should be pure domination from Eubank. Do you know what I'm saying? Eubank should be straight on this, thinking, damn, Conor Benn should be a snack for Eubank, given the weight divisions. I've got a feeling though, Eubank couldn't set about Liam Chinniams, who is begging to be knocked out. So what's he going to do with Ben? Ben's going to be all over him like a rash. So we'll find out anyway. Who knows? Maybe when Ben starts laying some on him, it wakes him up and he ends up in a scrap. That is a good possibility. And I guess we can watch the Billy Joe Sausages fight in the last half of that. But that was, what, 10 years ago? 10 years ago that was. 10 years ago, Chris Eubank turned up a little bit in the last half of the fight. 10 years ago, no good. Recently, he hasn't been setting about no one. Ben, on the other hand, he won it bad. Then again, will the big occasion, or will the better opponent, make Conor Benn nervous? This will be the fight we find out. We don't have that middle or upper level fight. This is it. We will now find out how serious Conor Benn is about his style. If Conor Benn goes in there, and sets about Chris Eubank, he's the real deal. Because that will tell me that he's planning on setting about whoever's in front of him. If there's ever a fight, that will make Conor Benn nervous and make Conor Benn question himself, it will be this one. I'm hoping he stays true to what we've seen him do in his recent fights. I want to see him go in there and set about Chris Eubank the same way he has all the other bums. I think that's the way he wins as well. Given the size difference, he ain't going to win trying to play tic-tac-toe. Set about him, and who knows? I'd love to find out in this fight that I'd love to see Conor Benn knock the guy out, to be honest with you. Because that would have so many implications. If Conor Benn's able to knock out Chris Eubank that would mean he's the biggest puncher at 147. Because Errol Spence ain't knocking no one out. Do you know what I'm saying? In that sense. Errol Spence will break you down. Terence Crawford will break you down. They won't knock you out. I'm hoping we find out that Conor Benn is a proper serious puncher. Let's see anyway. There's great questions. There's great narrative. I'm dying to see it. I can't lie to you.